What a weird freaking game, Kwab.
Weird, weird game.
Weird fun.
Fun.
It was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. Great game to watch.
Yeah.
Was rooting for the Rockets just because I want to see this series go 7 selfishly. I know Rockets fans and Warriors fans may not want that because it causes heart attacks and, things of that nature. But as a basketball fan and as someone who enjoys great basketball, I wanted this to go 7, and now I'm not sure if it does.
We wanted more basketball,
Not
but
sure if it does.
it doesn't look like we're gonna get that.
Let's go to the box score, though. Quab, Warriors win 109-106. Stephen Curry had 17 points off night, 2 of 8 from 3. Jimmy Butler with a fantastic game, 27-6-5. Pods had 26-5-5. For the Rockets, it was a Sengun and Van Vliet show, essentially. 31-10 for Sengun. Van Vliet had 8 threes. Amin Thompson had 17 points. He had a nice little spurt there in the fourth quarter. But outside of that, like I said before, it was literally, I'm not even exaggerating. It was Sengun or Van Vliet. Sengun, Van Vliet. Sengun, Van Vliet. It sounds like a German politician, Sengun Van Vliet. But that's what it was for the Rockets. But first, shout out to Jimmy Butler. Because every time we've talked about the Warriors so far, post Jimmy Butler, I've always said that Jimmy's fit in perfectly. He's fit in nicely, but he's fit in like a role player. And he hasn't been someone who was that second scorer or that other person who would be able to take over a game when needed. And I think on a night where Steph just didn't have it going, where the Rockets were playing great denial, they were playing this zone where whoever Steph was on the court, whoever was with him, was just face guarding him. It was their job in the zone to face guard him. And that meant that Jimmy Butler had to do more things. He had to score the basketball. He had to create for others, and he did. He was fantastic all night. Attacking bigs off of switches and mismatches and taking it to the hole. And the Warriors did a fantastic job cutting to the hoop. Jimmy did a fantastic job scoring on his own and finding players. He's a fantastic passer. It's one of my favorite things about Jimmy Butler. But he did also score the ball as well. So major shout out to Jimmy Butler. This is exactly what I was talking about when I said that they need him to be the Miami Heat Jimmy Butler. Miami Heat Jimmy Butler showed up tonight. He showed up tonight on a night where Steph was not shooting well. And Pods as well. The whole team, honestly, it was the reverse game 3. Game 3, it was like Steph was willing everybody, on the offensive end. Where tonight, it was more like everybody else picked him up. Pods was fantastic. Buddy Hield was fantastic, both offensively and defensively to start the game, especially. The Warriors just came and they brought it. It's unfortunate for the Rockets because you figured you had to split one there in Golden State. You had to grab one in Golden State. You had your chances in Game 3 without Jimmy Butler. You had your chances today and just could not get it done, man. What are your thoughts on the game? Overall thoughts before we get into specifics?
Overall thoughts. I think to your point, Jimmy Butler stepped up and played like Miami Jimmy Butler after getting into it with Dylan Brooks. Kind of ignited him, and it was the same thing in Miami where it always takes somebody kind of. People use the term poking the bear, but I remember it happened when it was Miami against the Celtics series when kind of a little bit of trash talk and got him going. The one thing that he brings to this Warriors team is his ability to get to the free throw line, and he was, I think, 12 for 12 from the free throw line. They didn't have that previously until they made this trade. Just having a player that can kind of just get to the line when the offense is kind of souring, and Curry seeing this type of attention throughout the course of the game, and he made a bunch of he always makes a bunch of weird clutch plays, like him getting fouled at the 3-point line, getting the rebound, hitting the free throws, all that to will him to win. It was a great game, like good back and forth game. I think the other person that really showed up this game, that's again needs to get a little bit of credit, is Steve Kerr, because Steve Kerr put in the starting lineup with Buddy and with Jimmy coming back, but also I think it was, I'm trying to remember, I want to say about the 6-minute mark or so where the Rockets were making, it just felt like the momentum was on the Rockets side, and Steven Adams was having an amazing game, had a great game, and they went to the hack of Steven Adams.
Hack of Steven Adams.
The hack Adams. The hack of, I'm by his full name. The hack of Steven Adams the first.
The hack of Steven
Sounds
James
like a play.
Adams the first, Esquire. Yeah.
Esquire. Sounds like a terrible play, but the hack of Adams. They went to the hack of Adams, and Udoka took out Steven Adams, and the Warriors went on I believe a 7-0 run, and they didn't look back. That was the momentum changer in the game. I feel like, because Adams was making all these clutch plays defensively and offensively. He's been a terror, like with the rebounds, but also he was blocking shots, 2-hand block shots, cutting off lanes, and it was feeling like the Rockets were going to be able to pull this off with how Van Fleet was playing, and Thompson was showing up, and Sengun started playing aggressively and not hesitant. I think from the third quarter on, it was like the Sengun you were begging for this whole time.
Yeah, I mean, he was really aggressive, like overly
Yeah.
aggressive. Like if he had the mismatch, he was going at it. They ended up, running an inverted pick and roll essentially, where it's you set a screen with the smaller guy, Van Vliet, and then they have the switch, and then, I mean, when Draymond was out, Sengun was just, I mean, absolutely feasting. I mean, it was possession after possession after possession after possession. If he wasn't hitting a layup, he was getting fouled. He was going to the free throw line. Shout out to also free throw line. Rockets got to shoot the free throw better, man. I don't know. They're shooting like mid 60s. It was 63% last time I checked for the series. I don't know what it is after tonight. Awful, man. Awful.
Bad.
I mean, big reason why they're down 3-1 right now. If they just hit their free throws, this could be a completely different series. But, I mean, it's funny because we talk about the Rockets and their half-court offense and them not being able to find something. But they found something today, and they were able to score the basketball. That wasn't the problem today. It would have been nice if they had some help, from others. It was Fred and it was Sengun. And Thompson helped a little bit in the second half. He had a nice run. I think he had like 6 or 8 points in a span of like 3 minutes. But Jabari had his first so-so game of the series. He had huge turnover in the fourth. Jalen Green, MIA once again.
A lot of turnovers by Jalen Green, by the way.
Turnovers by Jalen Green, too. So, it's just the Rockets have not been able to put it together just yet. They did a fantastic job on Steph Curry. Like I said, that zone that they were running, it was a matchup zone. Wherever Steph Curry was, no matter who was near him, was face guarding him. You're not touching the ball. They did a fantastic job on Steph Curry. But shout out to the Warriors because the Warriors moved the ball fantastically. Jimmy Butler was attacking mismatches. He was getting into the paint. Paz was hitting threes. Buddy Hield was hitting threes. They were cutting. They were moving. They were doing split action. Again, they won this game without Steph Curry and Draymond being Steph Curry and Draymond, essentially. And that's what this team is built around. Draymond Green was in foul trouble the whole time, and he's lucky he wasn't ejected. We could get into that.
Yes. That's the whole.
I think that whole 5-minute review was like, all right. So how do we keep him in the game without a
Draymond Green whistle is crazy. Like I've been saying, like they gave him a flagrant. And I was like, I don't think he deserved the first technical though. I'll say that.
I think that's what it might have been. The first technical was soft.
Yeah, it was definitely soft, but it's crazy. It felt like he shouldn't have been in the game, but again, to your point, the Warriors played fantastic and
Great game from everybody else. Great game.
Exactly. I think it wasn't just hey Curry, we need you to carry us. It was you got Pods hitting big shots. You had Buddy Hield hitting big shots.
Quentin
and
Post
not over
hit some big shots too.
Quentin Post hitting big shots, and that's a whole team effort. You need that. You know what you're gonna get from Curry. You know what you're gonna get from Jimmy, and you know what you're gonna get from Draymond, from on both sides of the ball. But you need something else from your quote unquote role players, and they stepped up. They stepped up this game. They're one of the, if not the main reasons they've been able to win this game, and even the previous game when it was Gary Payton the second, and it was Buddy Hield also.
Yeah.
Just getting consistent play from your others is gonna help you win. And the Warriors got that. The Rockets not so much.
Yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, it was a tie game. Jimmy Butler got fouled shooting a 3. So, it wasn't like, and this is not taking away from anything that the Warriors did, but it wasn't like they ran a beautifully executed play. It was like they got fouled shooting 3. And then the play that the Rockets ran was pretty much everything they were running in the third and fourth quarter anyway. It wasn't like Udoka schemed up some magical play to get someone open. It was just same thing. We're going to give the ball to Sengun and see what happens. And Draymond didn't switch on the screen, and he bodied him up, and Sengun shot a hook shot from the foul line, essentially, and kind of flailed a little bit. I don't know if he was trying to draw the foul. But I wish they would have maybe been a little more creative with that. I understand you're going to go with what's working, but I do think head coaches and coaching staffs in general need to have like design plays, sideline out of bounds plays, 7-8 seconds left that you can go to, regardless of your personnel. The Rockets have good enough personnel where you can draw up 8 seconds and get a good shot for someone like a Sengun or Dylan Brooks or Fred VanVleet. Like, to run the same thing that you've been running, I think kind of bailed the Warriors out a little bit, especially when Draymond's now back in the game because Sengun was feasting mostly without Draymond in the game. So a little disappointed in the play call, although I do get it because Sengun was playing well. I kind of wish there was a little more like, hey, maybe we see like a back screen off of a decoy, inverted pick and roll for like Fred or Dylan or something crazy.
Just something different, just like a better creative play.
Exactly.
I guess
they went with the same thing that they were giving them all game.
Yeah, and like you said, Draymond didn't switch. I think that's the one thing that was working because Fred was setting the screen and they were switching and that was allowing Sengun to work. And then if there was a double, they would find it. But it was a tough shot. That's a tough shot for Sengun to take, like a free throw line extended, basically floater hook shot. So. Yeah, I wish they would have did something different, but the Warriors did great defense by the Warriors. They were able to get a stop, do enough to get the win, and to be up 3-1 right now, and is, to me, they have all the momentum for the rest of the playoff series. Do you think they win the next game?
I don't. I think the Rockets win at home.
Okay.
I think the Rockets win Game 5. I think they extend the series, but I don't know if they can beat the Warriors 3 straight times.
Got you.
That's going to be tough. I mean, we had the Rockets in 6 because we both said that, hey, if there's a Game 7, I don't know if I'm going to go against Steph and Jimmy in a Game 7. And right now, the only way the Rockets can win is in the 7th game, and that would require them coming back from 3-1, which in itself, against anybody, it doesn't matter who you're going against, is going to be tough. So one game at a time. I do think they go back to Houston. I do think they win in Houston. It wouldn't surprise me if they kind of blow the doors off of them and the Warriors just like, all right, we'll come back to San Francisco and take care of business there. But I do think that, I don't want to say the series is over, but it is disappointing to say that I don't think the Rockets can come back from this, unfortunately. I'll be rooting for them because, like I said, I want to see a 7-game series. And also the Rocket fans in our comments have been dope. So I'm rooting for them, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Especially with I know the Rockets they essentially have a young team in terms of their stars. So this is, I hate the narrative, but you're facing a veteran team players who have seen the playoffs and seen the finals against a young team whose young players this is their first time in the playoffs. I know a bunch of people were like, well, Jalen Green had a rough first game because it was his first playoff game, and then a rough
first road game.
First road game. Thank you. First road game. I was trying to think of the right verbiage. First road game, but you need. We talked about this. So at least Fred has been playing better since the first couple of games. He's shown up. You need consistent points and shooting from your backcourt. Like the Rockets are amazing and unstoppable when Green is playing like his potential, when he's supposed to be playing, being consistent. When he's not, it's kind of like,
that's right. Well, I mean, they're 1-3 right now based off of how Green has played. He's played one really good game, and they won that game.
And they won that game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously there are other things involved. Like, it's not just Jalen Green, but I don't think that's a coincidence. I think it has something to do with it as well. And then today it was just largely VanVleet and Sengun. It really was. I mean, Amen had 17, but it felt like a pretty quiet 17, if I'm going to be honest with you. And that was it. Really, Jabari didn't do much. Tari didn't do much offensively. Dylan Brooks he had a nice first half, first quarter. Outside of that, he didn't do anything in the second half. I mean, mainly because Udoka went away with it because they found something that worked when Draymond got in foul trouble. But it's just unfortunate. I feel bad for Rockets fans. I kind of don't at the same time, because I think if you talk to Rockets fans, even if they thought they were going to win this series, they're pretty realistic about where their team is at in their journey to a championship. I don't think any Rockets fans going to lie to you and say, oh, I think they could win the championship this year. I think a lot of them, best case scenario, like, yeah, we could probably make the Western Conference Finals, maybe Western semis, and give it a good run.
I get that, but I also think
you still root for your team. Like, you still want to freaking win.
You still want to win, but I think it's more frustrating when it feels like you could have won. It's like, okay, yeah, we lost, cool, but like there are games when it's like, hey, if this just a little minor tweak here, something small happened here, it could have led to a victory. Always feels very frustrating.
All right, well, that's going to do it. The Warriors beat the Rockets 109-106, take the 3-1 series lead. Tomorrow, we got the New York Knicks, baby. Let's go. Yeah. And Clippers and Nuggets. Kwab and I will be recapping that as well. Let us know if you think the Warriors or Rockets will in Game 5 in the comments. Make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned. More game recaps. All that good stuff. We are here throughout the playoff journey, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Josh Rodriguez at Josh_Rodriguez_. He's Kwab at Kwab, a.k.a.s. You can follow us everywhere at the Dime NBA. We'll see you tomorrow for more game recaps.
Yes,
Peace.
sir. Peace.